Hello everyone, welcome to Pete CD Vinyl World. Today I want to do a video based on a video I saw recently by Lair of the Alchemist. I'm not sure if you're familiar with his channel. It's not necessarily a vinyl channel. He basically talks about music in general, bands, reviews of albums, etc. But mostly, I believe, focuses on vinyl. Anyway, he had a video that I just saw recently, but I think it's done a couple months ago, and the basic topic was he picked 5 bands that he should like by all accounts, but for some reason could never really get that into. Not bands he hates or that type of thing, but it was bands that he should like because he likes similar bands or bands of that era, etc. So I figured I would do a video similar to that. So I picked 5 bands. First of all, I want to ask anybody if they know anything about YouTube, say like algorithm or whatever, because I noticed in the past couple months I haven't made a lot of videos. I've only made about 1 video a week or so. And it was a couple weeks I didn't. I just haven't had much time lately. I'm in the middle of selling a house, and I haven't actually gotten anything new really lately. I have some stuff on the way from Amazon, but question was, I've noticed that my videos have fewer views, but I have way more subscribers than I had like a few months ago. So I thought that was kind of odd. I was wondering if after a while, if you don't make a lot of videos, do you stop showing up on people's feeds and this and that? Not that I care about having a lot of subscribers or views. It's just I would want to see the people to have viewed my videos who want to see them. So if you know, just let me know. But anyway, back to the topic. 5 bands that I probably should like by all accounts, but for some reason aren't that into them. And it's not saying I don't like some of the songs from these artists. It's just not enough to like say I want to go out and buy their albums. And this isn't bands I hate or dislike. That I'm going to do in another video, which if anyone wants to do a collaborative video on that, that would probably be funny. Bands you can't stand or hate. But anyway, 5 bands that I should like, but I don't really like them too much. First one I'm going to go with is Aerosmith. And I'm talking about even the classic era of the band. I do like some of their songs. Probably my 2 favorite Aerosmith songs are Mama Kin and SOS. Other than that, if I hear them, to me, they're just okay. I'm not like one of these people who thought like Rocks or Toys in the Attic was one of the best albums of the 70s. I don't think they were very well produced in the 70s, their albums. They don't really sound that good. I think Joe Perry is an overrated guitarist, and I think that Brad Whitford is very underrated. Another song I really like from them is Last Child, which has Brad Whitford solos all over that one. So not a huge fan of Steven Tyler either. I'm not even going to get into their post-permanent vacation career, because that stuff's basically just, sell out pop music pretty much. I mean, like I said, I have a couple of songs from that era I like. If you're going to ask me one era of the band I do like, it would probably be like Night in the Ruts through, say, Done with Mirrors, right before Permanent Vacation. It's sort of their obscure era, because those are the songs you don't really hear a lot. But the other stuff has just been overplayed. But yeah, that's just one band. Like, again, I don't hate them, but nothing that makes me want to go out and buy their catalog. Moving on, the next one I'm going to pick is The Doors. Again, I like some of their songs. Probably LA Woman, Break On Through are probably my favorite. I've even heard a lot of their deep cuts here and there. Maybe I have to listen to a lot more, but nothing about them makes me want to seek out their albums and ever think, oh yeah, I want to listen to The Doors right now. Maybe because there's not much heavy guitar at all in any of their music. They're sort of like on their own as far as the type of music. They're sort of lumped in with the late 60s San Francisco hippie movement, but they're, from what I know, they're more of an LA band. And they don't, musically, they don't fit into any of that either. They sort of are on their own that way, which I guess is unique. But to me, they were just kind of boring. I guess, Jim Morrison was a wild frontman, sort of, or unpredictable, you might say. But other than that, they've never been a group that I've really been into that much. The next one is an artist where I really like the first part of his career, but after a certain album completely changed, and it's an era that people love, but I really don't, and that's Tom Petty, or Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I like Tom Petty all the way through Full Moon Fever. After that album, he completely sort of changed his sound to a more acoustic-based, Bob Dylan-esque sound, and like I said, it's a couple songs I like here and there, but nothing that makes me want to go out and get any of that. I know everyone talks about this Wildflowers album, and I guess maybe I should hear that, but to me, they had such a unique sound early on, for an American band during that period, late 70s, early 80s, to have a rock and roll sound was kind of unique in itself, and they had a distinct sound production-wise as well, and they sort of just completely abandoned that. And it's almost as if they weren't a band anymore, even when they got back together on, was it Into the Great Wide Open? It was the album after Full Moon Fever. Sort of the same vein as Full Moon Fever, but you would have thought they would have gotten back to some of that early sound. To me, just like 1990 came and like all the energy was sucked out of Tom Petty, and he was like that until he passed away. I don't know if he was just tired or what, but none of his music has any like urgency or like any, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just one artist I can't get into, and I can almost consider it a completely different artist at that point. It's almost like, even though the Heartbreakers came back, it's still, to me, just Tom Petty solo at that point. Another band I'm going to talk about now is a metal band called Accept. And, very similar style to, say, Judas Priest, Michael Schenker group from the early 80s, that period. And again, I like some of their songs, but not to the degree of some people just love them and put them up there with Priest and Maiden and a lot of other early 80s metal bands and I just don't see it. I mean, maybe I'm not crazy about the vocalist, Udo Dirkenschneider. His vocal style is kind of harsh. It's kind of ironic because he's got the same birthday as me too. But yeah, that's just one band that I never grasped onto. And, maybe I should try listening to some of their classic albums to see if there's any. But from what I heard, I'm just like, they're okay. I wouldn't go out and buy their albums. And the fifth artist, this one might get the most like, what? I'm going to say Elton John. Again, I do like some songs. Tiny Dancer, songs from his early to mid-70s period. But to just listen to albums after album of that, it just doesn't appeal to me so much. I don't know what it is really, because he's got a good band and songwriter. But maybe it's just the whole piano style in general. It just doesn't appeal to me that much. Even when he did like, I can't stand that song, Crocodile Rock. It sounds like a Ferris wheel on an amusement park or something. It's a song about rock and roll that's not rock and roll at all. It's very cheesy, and so there's. And especially, I would say from the late 70s on, we sort of abandoned that piano style and went more synthesizers and keyboards. But, yeah, people love him, and I could see why. He's had a ton of hits, his long career. But, again, there's something about it that doesn't connect to me like it should. I know that live album from 1970 is supposed to be really good. Maybe I'll look into that. I think that's him just solo piano. I don't know if there's much of a band there, but after that, it's sort of I don't know. Maybe he's just not rock and roll, even though people would say he's a rock star. There's nothing really rock and roll about him. Not that everything has to be rock and roll, but when he's put into that category and he's not, that's what doesn't appeal to me about him. Anyway, that was my 5. Again, if anybody has a few they want to mention or think I'm crazy about some of these selections, let me know. If you like these videos, please subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks.